Hello, and welcome to Science, Society, and You, Biology 301. In this video, I just want to go through the basics of how the course is organized. And so we're going to deal with these buttons over here. The one, when you first log on, the course, the first page you will see is this home page. And the home page will have any announcements. If I put any announcements up, I will send you an email copy of them, so you also get it through your email that's recorded through the university. This button right here is something new you may see on distance ed courses. It's just basically links to information about distance education. So these weren't my links, these are links that were done by distance education. So if you still have questions after looking on these, let me know. I will tell you there's something here on tutoring and proctoring. You're not going to need a proctor for this class, and that's primarily because it's a writing course more than it is anything else. There'll be a couple quizzes that you're going to take, but nothing major. The quizzes are there just to show me that you're doing the reading, so you will not need a proctor for this class. So that's the distance education contacts. Under syllabus and schedule, you will see, actually once I finish this video, you will see this video on there, as well as the syllabus and the course schedule. I want to just look at the course syllabus now. Let me just go over some of that, the basics of it. It's not going to move very fast. So I'm going to open it. And there it is. Gives you information. Most of this information is on the Blackboard site itself. Here's my preferred contact. I really rather you email me than anything else. I will also have a virtual office hour on Wednesdays from 3:30 to 4:30. So you can join me on Collaborate for that. Or if that time doesn't work for you, and I know everyone's in different time zones, contact me and we'll set up a time where we can either talk on the phone or through Collaborate. Understand this is a human issues and dilemmas course, so there are certain expectations of you, as there are expectations of me, that I've designed a course that meets that criteria. There's your liberal education, which I'm sure you've seen those before, course outcomes, student expectations. These expectations were developed and by a committee, and to be on this to be a human dilemmas course, we have to meet these expectations in the course. So I did not make those up. They came with it. So here's course content. Here are the two books that you need. This is relatively cheap class in terms of textbooks. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot and Pandora's Lab, 7 Stories of Science Going Wrong by a man named Paul Offit. So you need to get those. You can get them on Kindle. You can get them hardback. You can get them in paperback. But for me, at least, when I'm reading a book on Kindle, I have trouble highlighting and then going back and finding things, and you're going to have to do that. So my recommendation is, but again, it's up to you, that you get the paperback of each one of these. If you can do that easily, if you can scroll back and forth in Kindle and find information in previous chapters, then that's fine. That's not a problem. All right, grading attendance and policy. This is not a self-paced class. There are due dates, and you must keep up with those due dates. You cannot disappear for 3 weeks and then show up and hand things in. I will not accept it. I realize that sometimes things come up and that you may be late with handing in an assignment, but what I ask, and I will keep you to this, is that you email me before the due date that you're going to miss. So like I said, on online classes, I have students disappear for 2 weeks and then boom, start handing everything in. That is not the way this class works, and it won't work that way. By policy, university policy, that's not the way the class works. So if something happens and you're going to miss a due date, I need to be contacted as soon as possible, not a week or 2 after the due date. You'll have the schedule, which I'm going to show you. How do you do attendance in an online class? For me, attendance is whether you're handing in the assignments. So if you're not handing in assignments without contacting me, then I will send out attendance warnings. After 3 weeks of not handing in assignments, then you can be dropped from this class. If after midterm, 10th or 11th week, you stop handing things in, I'm not going to drop you at that point, but you will end up with a WF. WF means that your financial aid will be affected. So please, if you want to drop the class, you do it. Don't depend on me to take that responsibility. Again, it's a 300 level class, so my expectations are higher for you than they are for 1 and 200 level courses. This is what to do with absences. Basically, you need to just contact me by email. Shows you how to withdraw from school, which I hope you don't do, and also how to withdraw from the class, which I don't want you to do. Also, academic dishonesty. Every assignment that you hand in is going to go through SafeAssign. I expect you to be doing your own work. If you give me any sign that you are not doing your own work, I will start. Well, it depends. On a big assignment, you guys know better. On a big assignment, if you plagiarize or take information from another student's paper, it's an automatic 0 on that paper, and I will go to the Dean of Students. So you need to make sure you are doing your own work. Now, you're going to do a couple group things together in this class. Obviously, you can work with the people in your group. So don't test me on that because you will lose. Disability statement. With an online class, there shouldn't be any major issues. If there is, please let me know. This goes through the grading scale. This goes through the major assignments. Again, a lot of these are writing. So you're going to do a citizen science project, CRISPR-Cas9, group poster, individual paper. This gives you all the point totals for the semester. And then the schedule is going to be located on Blackboard. And actually, let me pull that up right now. So you have access to that on Blackboard. Here is the schedule. This is what you're going to print out and take a picture of with yourself in it so that I know that you've printed it out. I know that you've seen the due dates, and so you can't tell me you didn't know things were due. It's outlined in the typical way that an online class is. Here are the topics. Here are the assignments. All due dates except for one at the end are on Sunday at midnight. So you need to make sure that you get them done by that time and submit them. Again, I will not take them late unless you have a valid excuse that you've contacted me about. Here are the list. Now these looks like a lot, but some of these are pretty short. Here are the list of assignments that are due on this date. So we go through all through the semester and you have due dates for them. So please keep up with that. If you don't send me your picture with the schedule, then I will take that as a sign that you don't want to be in the class and will send out a warning about attendance. So you'll notice in the first half, go through this real quick, in the first half you're doing a lot on the scientific method, learning the basics of good and bad science. What are good studies? What are bad studies? There's some interesting podcasts here on medicine and the kind of research that's done there, good and bad. The placebo effect, we get into the science and politics and how they overlap with each other, which in this day and age is pretty common. Then there's a few chapters that you're going to read from that or Pandora book, and you'll do journal entries on those. You're not going to have to read every chapter in that book, but there'll be several in there that you're going to. Then we'll get into some ethical thinking issues. We're going to talk about a technology called CRISPR-Cas9, which is probably one of the most relevant and current topics that you can talk about in terms of ethical thinking. So you'll do some research on that. And then after we get through that, you're going to start reading the book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, which I think you'll find enjoyable. It's an interesting story. A movie just came out last summer on HBO about the writing of the book, which is very good. Oprah Winfrey was in it. So we'll spend pretty much the second half of the semester working on the group project, working on individual paper, finishing up your citizen science project, which I'll describe, and reading the Henrietta Lacks book. So you don't have a final like a typical final, but you're going to have a paper that's going to be due near the end, and I want you to note here, this due date is a Wednesday as we get near the end of the semester, and then your last journal entry is going to be due Sunday, April 29th. So you're not going to have a final exam in the sense of a typical final exam. This class is not supposed to be a fact-based class, even though you're going to have to learn some science facts. It's supposed to be more about thinking and using some basic facts to make decisions and to think about science and how it affects you. So that is the schedule. So you will print off a copy, take a picture, and send that to me by email along with some other information. Okay, so that is the syllabus and schedule. It's here. I also want you to note that the syllabus and schedule are also under course content, under class introduction. So here's the assignment that you're going to print it off and then send me an email, and then I will give you points for that. So there's the syllabus again. Actually, I have this on twice. If you want to watch a video about me twice, here it is. So here's one, here's another one. They're the same thing. Just gives you information about me. This video will also be under that once I make it. So that is that. So faculty, here's my information besides it being on the syllabus. It's here. It shows you when my virtual office hour will be, but also states you can contact me if you want to talk some other time. Just goes through my education classes, my interests. I love photography. I do a lot of local sports photography as well as nature. This is actually a picture of me in Newfoundland a few years ago in front of a 500-foot iceberg, which was pretty cool. This link right here will take you directly to my email, so you can send, you have it here, but if you have it here, you click on this, and it'll send me, you can send me an email from there. This actually gives you a link to the virtual office hour, so I will be on there. I'll be in my office at VU. If I don't, when I hear a ding, I will come over and talk to you. If I have a student with me, then I may have to tell you just to wait a few minutes, but I will let you know. Course content. This is pretty much where you'll spend most of your time. This is the class introduction, which I just showed you. This is the citizen science project that we're going to do. This is the process of science, ethical thinking, your group and individual critical thinking project, and then the assignments under the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks. I'm going to do videos on each of these in groups, one or two of them, to go more in detail on what they consist of. These are links to journal entries, discussion groups, and blogs. These links are also within the assignments within these course content folders. So you can either come over here or you can just, let me give you an example. If we go to the citizen science, you're going to listen to a podcast, an NPR podcast, and here's the journal entry. So you click on this, it'll take you to the journal entry, or you could come over here, find it, and then link that way. So you have two options there. Same thing with discussions and blogs. The last couple things down here are your grades. So if you want to see your grades, you just click My Grades. It'll show you the current grades. Tools, you won't really need to use much. And then this is a link to the VU library, which you will be using a lot in this class because you'll have to do research as part of the writings that you're going to do. So that's just kind of an overview of what's on Blackboard for you. Like I said, this video is not on there yet because I'm making it. So it will be on there for you to watch, and as well as several other videos that I'm going to make over time. Okay, if you have any questions about this, please send me an email or let me know, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions.